All right, folks, Yishai Fleischer here, and today we're going to talk about Mahmoud Abbas. Mahmoud Abbas. This guy is, in his 20th year of his 4-year term, as is well known. And we've been told forever that he is Mr. Peace with Israel. He's the guy that we could have some kind of understanding. He's the peace partner. Hamas, they're the bad guys. But the PA, the Palestinian Authority, is supposed to control security. Even though we've given them our land, they are the ones that are supposed to create an atmosphere of peace in the areas that they control. And I've been saying for the whole time that these people are not only are they corrupt, they're also jihadists to the utmost degree. And Mahmoud Abbas is famous because the PhD paper that he wrote was about how the Holocaust really didn't happen and how it's an exaggeration. And he has been the financier of terror, including the famous 1972 Munich massacre. He was the financier and the Olympics. Now a video came out of him addressing the Turkish parliament very recently, and we're going to watch it together. The folks at MEMRI put it out. And in this video, you're going to see how he prays for the soul of Ismail Haniyah. He's going to call America the plague. He's going to say that we're going to go first to Gaza and then on to Jerusalem, and that we're going to implement Sharia law. And what we're going to learn very simply is that the PA and Hamas are two sides of the same coin. It's just that simple. They're two sides of the same coin. But let's let the man, the Rais, the leader, speak for himself.
واسمحوا لي أيتها الأخوات أيها الإخوة أن أبدأ حديثي إليكم بالترحم على أرواح عشرات آلاف الشهداء الذين ارتقوا لباريهم بسبب العدوان الإسرائيلي.
Okay, so first thing is that all the folks in Gaza are martyrs because of Israeli aggression. Nothing to do with Hamas, nothing to do with an attack on Israel that he's supposed to be a peace partner of.
وحرب الإبادة والتطهير العرقي التي يشنها على شعبنا في غزة والضفة الغربية والقدس الشريف والتي كان آخرها.
Let's read that text right on the screen there. The latest incident was the crime against the leader and the martyr Ismail Haniyah. Ismail Haniyah, the billionaire, not millionaire, who got all his money from doing what? Siphoning it from the international community. It's supposed to help the Arabs. Instead, he puts it into his own pocket. He sent tens of thousands of people to their death. He's the leader of this massacre, this Hamas massacre, and so many murders on his hand. But according to Mahmoud Abbas, he is the leader, Ismail Haniyah, that is a martyr, and it's been a crime to get rid of him.
الجريمة بحق الشهيد القائد إسماعيل هنية وأدعوكم إخوتي وأخواتي لقراءة الفاتحة على روحه وأرواح شهداء فلسطين الأبرار. نقرأ الفاتحة.
Religious ceremony.
ونحيي بشكل خاص قرار تركيا بالانضمام إلى الدعوة التي رفعتها دولة جنوب أفريقيا.
Okay, so he's going to be saluting the Turks for backing the case in the ICJ against Israel. That case, by the way, resulted in the ICJ basically being like, well, it's really not a genocide, actually. This whole thing, even the ICJ was like, well, we're not going to be able to call this thing, and we want Israel to calm down, maybe, but sorry, we really can't call it more than what it is, which is a war against the terrorist organization that wants to destroy Israel. So even that, but he's praising the Turks for backing the South Africans at the ICJ.
ضد الإبادة الجماعية
Genocide.
التي ترتكبها إسرائيل في غزة.
And so here comes the biggest blood libel of our time right now in the last year, and that is that Israel is perpetrating a genocide, right? Not that there's a war against the terror org, which lives in tunnels while their people starve and die on top of the sands. Why? Because that's exactly their tactic. They want to see Israel killing a lot of so-called civilians because that way they could use it to blacken Israel's image, to darken Israel's image. But he's going to continue that blood libel right there in Turkey.
لدى محكمة العدل الدولية وكذلك قرارها بوقف التجارة مع إسرائيل.
And the blockade of trade with between Turkey and Israel, a very important trading partner, right? But Mahmoud Abbas salutes that. This is supposed to be our trading partner, right? So he's saluting the Turks for stopping trade with Israel.
يتحدثون هذه الأيام عن سيناريوهات يجري إعدادها هنا وهناك لما يسمى باليوم التالي للعدوان ونحن نقولها بكل وضوح.
So what he's about to say, he definitely wants us to hear. As he says, I want the whole world to hear it. What does Mahmoud Abbas want the whole world to hear?
وليسمعها القاصي والداني إن قطاع غزة والضفة الغربية والقدس الشرقية هي وحدة جغرافية واحدة تشكل الدولة الفلسطينية المستقلة حسب الشرعية الدولية.
Okay, so we got to unpack this baby here, okay? Because what he's saying is that Gaza, Eastern Jerusalem, and the West Bank constitute one united geographical area. I mean, it's certainly not one geographical area because it's little pieces amongst the geographical area. But what he means is that this should become a Palestine. But if you watch TV that his organization runs, they call for the destruction of all of Israel. He's always talking about all of Israel. But here in front of the world, he gives that side of the coin that the world wants to hear. He's praising Hamas and Hamas leadership, which clearly, without ambivalence, call for the destruction of all of Israel. Then he goes and he does it the liberal way, the way that the West wants to hear, in the suit and tie way. And that way he says, no. We just want that part, the Gaza Strip, the so-called West Bank, and so-called Eastern Jerusalem. We want to control that. That's going to make up the Palestine that we want. That's the PA line. But at the same time, he's praising Hamas. So what he's really telling all of us is, I really want all of Israel. And all of the pictures that he puts up on his channels are of all of Israel and has the word Palestine. All the stuff, the knickknacks that they sell has a picture of Israel and the borders of Israel. Inside it says Palestine. So what he's doing right now for the whole world is a show. It's a show. It's a fraud. It's a fake. It's again, wolf in sheep's clothing. I only want these parts, and then we'll live side by side. That's for the world. But for the internal dialogue, it's clear. The destruction of the whole thing. This, what I'm asking for, we just want first, and we want the West to help us get it. We want the West to say things like two-state solution. That's the only way it's going to solve the whole problem here. So he's speaking right to those folks. All right. Let's keep going with the dialogue of ruse, the lies which are being spewed by Mahmoud Abbas. Let's see what he says.
الشرعية الدولية التي تحكمها حكومة شرعية واحدة وبدون تحقيق ذلك وتجسيد هذه الدولة الفلسطينية والاعتراف بها لن تنعم هذه المنطقة بالأمن والاستقرار.
Wow. So if we just give them this piece of land, there will be security. Just like when we gave away Gaza to the Palestinian Authority, there was security. Just like when we gave away parts of Judea and Samaria, the so-called West Bank, to them, there was security. I mean, who can actually believe this? Like, the subtext is, we'll get this land, the West will force Israel to give up this land, we'll control it, and then we'll destroy Israel the rest of the way. We'll just shrink her, weaken her defenses, just like Hitler did with the Sudetenland. We'll tell the world that there's going to be peace if Hitler just gets that part of Czechoslovakia, that's Sudetenland. Give me that. That's all I want. That's my last territorial request. And then there'll be peace, right? But then to everybody, if it's like a wink, wink, there'll be peace, guys. We'll get pieces, and we'll get rid of the rest of the Jewish state, okay? And it's like, you have to be dumb not to read the subtext here. But We're not dumb here. So let's keep going and see what Mahmoud Abbas has to say.
الآن ثلثاء قطاع غزة مدمر تماما، المدارس، المساجد، الكنائس، المؤسسات، الشوارع كلها مدمرة، وتشريد كامل لشعبنا هناك، بالإضافة لآلاف الشهداء والجرحى في الضفة الغربية وفي القدس الشرقية.
There's this little element of they attacked us on October the 7th. They sought to murder, maim, destroy, and they did tremendous damage. And then their plan was, and now we want Israel to attack us back, and we'll make them look so bad, and we'll isolate Israel in the international community. And now I'm talking about, I'm going from, from attack mode to look at how poor our people are. Look at what has happened. Yeah, you initiated a war. You annihilated people. You made a humongous attack on Israel. What did you think was going to happen? But they want that to happen because they want the crybaby moment. Look what happened to our people. Yeah, you started a war with Israel. You started this little tiny ethnic national state, this tiny little protectorate. You attacked it once again in 100-year-old jihad to destroy Israel. You attacked once again. And now you're crying, but that crying is not because you're really sad. It's because that's exactly what you want to promulgate out into the world, which is, look at how bad Israel is and look how defenseless we are.
ومع ذلك فإن الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية
Now he's going to go on to attack
قد
America.
استخدمت الفيتو، تصور، 3 مرات في مجلس الأمن ضد مطالبة العالم بوقف العدوان الإسرائيلي في قطاع غزة. 3 مرات تقف المندوبة الأمريكية في مجلس الأمن وتستعمل الفيتو لحالها، و14 آخرون يطالبون بوقف القتال. هذه هي أمريكا.
This is what he wants to attack now. He wants to say, listen, what we wanted to do was attack Israel, then have it destroy parts of Gaza so that we could cry about it. As by the way, in the Arab world, the Palestinians, the Palestinian brand is known as the professional victims, right? That's how Arabs call in the Arab world how Palestinianism, the brand Palestinianism, is called the folks of professional victims. And now he's saying, and look, America, stopped the Security Council from making a resolution to force Israel to stop fighting this defensive war. And now he goes on and he says, this is America. America is the plague. The plague is America. I mean, these are the folks that the Americans have supported to the tune of billions of dollars. I know most of them has come into the pockets of people like this. The guy that's speaking in front of you, this guy on the screen, he's a hundreds of $1 million in his personal bank account, all from embezzlement. And the guy that Israel got rid of, Ismail Haniyah, billionaire. I mean, the level of corruption and grossness is just amazing to me. Like, this guy that's speaking to you is a guy who's made a business out of the death of his people and of crying about it. He's a professional actor. He needs this speech deserves not the Nobel Prize, the Academy's Prize. He's just an actor, and a well-paid actor indeed. But the difference is that the people who die are not actors, neither the Israelis nor the Arabs that die, nor the region that suffers. But he benefits.
إن دولة فلسطين هي صاحبة الولاية.
No, the Palestinian state does not have sovereignty over the Gaza Strip. The Hamas terror organization, funded by Iran and money funneled through Qatar, that's who has, sadly, control over governance over the Gaza Strip. And that should end now through this war.
على قطاع غزة والضفة الغربية وعاصمتها الأبدية.
It's important to mention, by the way, that the Jerusalem is never mentioned in the Quran, but it really doesn't matter because in this game, everything is being called to aid in the destruction of Israel, the shrinking of Israel, then the destruction of Israel. And one of those aids is a religious argument that somehow Jerusalem is this important Muslim site, and that Palestinianism is liberating Jerusalem from the occupation of not only the colonialists, but really the Crusaders. That's in the Hamas charter. And so here's that language, the eternal holy capital, Jerusalem. This is, I mean, if there is a replacement theology, there's a replacement narrative. And here comes Mahmoud Abbas to really sweep away the Jewish story and to replace it. Goliath is now King David. The Philistines are actually the right owners of Jerusalem. And so here he is invoking the language of a Palestinian holy Jerusalem, which is a warped and cynical usage of religion and God to take away the Jewish story, to erase the Jewish story.
القدس الشريف غزة كلها لنا كما الضفة الغربية والقدس لنا.
Okay, so all of Jerusalem, Yerushalayim, right? Jerusalem. This city that was created by King David, right? This most famous city of the Jews, you know, L'shana haba Yerushalayim habnuya. Next year in the rebuilt Jerusalem. No, it is now brand Palestine. And the West Bank, i.e. Hebron, Beit El, Beit Lechem, these fundamental Jewish cities are totally now brand Palestine. And Gaza, which was turned into a terror state in no time, is now brand Palestine. That's what they want to do. And everybody is happy to hear that. And of course, this is all in order to take the rest of Israel away from the Jewish people.
تفصل أي شبر من وطننا عن الآخر تحت أي ظرف من الظروف فإنني أعلن أمامكم.
So here we go, guys. Everybody pay attention. He's talking to you.
وأمام العالم أجمع.
Declaring in front of the whole world.
لأنه لم يعد أمامنا حلول. الحل الأمثل اللي بنعمله.
What is the solution that he's
وأمام شعبنا الفلسطيني أنني قررت التوجه مع جميع أعضاء القيادة الفلسطينية إلى قطاع غزة وسوف أعمل بكل طاقتي لكي نكون جميعا مع شعبنا لوقف هذا العدوان الهمجي حتى لو كلفنا ذلك حياتنا.
Yeah, don't tell me about the cost of our lives. You're not willing to sacrifice your life. You're willing to sacrifice the life of the people that you govern. Let them die and you become a multimillionaire, or your friends, the multi-billionaires. Do me a favor, please. Don't talk about self-sacrifice and shahada and all that. It insults our intelligence out here. Okay. But he's going to Gaza. Of course, he wants to take over Gaza. Just let's remind the people that when the PA took over, the Palestinian Authority headed by this dude took over Gaza, they were actually kicked out by Hamas. But it really doesn't matter because Hamas and the PA are two sides of the same coin. One is the suit and tie face, and the other one is the jihad face. They just have two different faces.
فليست حياتنا بأغلى من حياة أصغر طفل من قطاع غزة أو من الشعب الفلسطيني. إحنا مش أغلى ونحن نطبق أحكام الشريعة. Okay, so what do we want to do in these places? We want to implement Sharia law. And Mahmoud Abbas has said many times that any land that the Palestinian Authority, which he controls, gets will be Yudin Rhine, will be free of Jews. But this time he's not going to say it like that because that's not going to go well. So he's just going to say it nicely. He says we're going to implement Sharia law in these places that we liberate, capture, control. And he says victory or martyrdom, i.e., all the way. We're gonna defeat the enemy, or we're gonna die doing it. النصر أو الشهادة. النصر أو الشهادة. كما أدعو مجلس الأمن صاحب ال80 قرار غير منفذة.
Notice the usage of the international community's institutions to strike against Israel. A very common and recurring theme. These institutions have become part and parcel of brand Palestine and of anti-Semitism and anti-Israelism. So he's calling back to his friends. And these institutions were in the previous American administration on the way to being defunded totally. But here they are refunded again. And now he's calling out to his friends, help me out. and make sure that we have control of this land.
تأمين وصولنا إلى قطاع غزة مش طالبين منه أكثر من هيك وصلنا لقطاع غزة وسوف نكون من وسوف تكون وجهتي القادمة يعني بعد قطاع غزة بإذن الله تعالى بعد تحقيق ذلك القدس الشريف نذهب للقدس الشريف عاصمتنا الأبدية.
Very good. So he says, first we'll capture Gaza, right? We've blackened the enemy's eye. We've actually shrunken the Jewish state by pushing communities, destroying communities and pushing them away. We will regain control with the Turkey's help and international community's help. We'll regain Gaza. We'll rebuild it. And then we're on to Jerusalem. Inshallah, with the help of God, we are on to capturing Jerusalem. There's no Israeli Jerusalem, notice, by the way. And he said one time, East Jerusalem for the liberal ears, but now he says it very clearly. We'll go on to all of Jerusalem, and that's going to be our capital. So if you don't know how to read the lines, I'll help you, which is that what he means is we'll destroy all of Israel and we'll destroy their capital. And that's what this guy's about, Mahmoud Abbas, our supposed partner for peace. I mean, if you can't see through this, this barrage of lies, and really, actually, in a sense, it's not lies, because what he is doing is he's just calling out to destroy Israel. So in many ways, he's actually being honest and truthful. All right. So the folks at MEMRI do a great job of translating works, media statements from the Palestinian Authority, from Hamas, and it's very important. And I very much respect the fact that they get this out there to us. And we got to look at the truth. We just got to look at the eyes of who we're dealing with. We're dealing with a Palestinian Authority which is corrupt and jihadist. The other side of the coin is Hamas, which is totally jihadist and funded by Iran. They are seeking to destroy Israel. We can't let them. We can't let them do that. And the only answer is simple. Israel's got to govern its land. It's got to be a strong, albeit small, entity in this region. It is a protectorate for the Jewish people, and it's got to protect its people and protect its land. Non-jihadist Arabs that want to live here are welcome to, ahlan wa sahlan. But haters of Israel cannot live in or around our borders. We have to control Gaza. Israel has to govern Gaza. And Israel has to get rid of the jihadism that threatens us. Nobody should have missiles aimed at us. Nobody should have tunnels or tunnel systems to fight a war against us, take hostages and keep them down there. And nobody should cynically use their civilians as human shields. That's exactly what's happening. Mahmoud Abbas, I like his last name, Abbas, because I have something called the Abbas plan. And that Abbas plan is bad guys, jihadists, got to go on a bus. They have to get on the bus and get out of here and get out of this, of our region, out of our country, inside and on our borders. We can't have them stick around. We got to keep fighting and being strong. And we got to also understand the lies and call out the lies and not succumb to the two-state narrative and the replacement narrative of Israel, the new replacement theology. We cannot succumb to it, and we have to speak out and call out the truth. That's what we're trying to do here on Yishai Fleischer TV, on our YouTube channel, and our Instagram, and all of our, on LinkedIn, and all the other places that we're active. Please subscribe to our channels, be part of it, and keep the fight. Keep the fight for truth. Truth will liberate us. Truth will liberate us. Passion will liberate us. The light of Israel will liberate us from the tremendous lies and murder and land takeover that the haters of Israel are planning. One of their main tools is the brand Palestine. We got to push back against that and let the truth of Israel shine out into the world. God bless you, folks, wherever you are. Stay tuned and stay strong. And shalom.